Okay. Hello, I'm here. I'm Elmer Soriano, and we're with three gentlemen. And can you please introduce yourself before we move on to this conversation on agriculture?
Okay, I'm Ed Torre.
What do you do?
Yeah, you better say it a
Do.
little bit.
How are you involved in agriculture?
I was first involved with the father of the one here beside me because I was a national chaplain of the Federation of Free Farmers. But that time the issue was more agrarian reform, not yet quite agricultural productivity. Yeah.
Mhm.
Right now I'm on the governing board of the Philippine Coconut Authority.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm Leony Montemayor. I'm connected with the Federation of Free Farmers.
But he used to be
Yeah. During the Arroyo administration, I served as Secretary of Agriculture.
Like Ed, my name is Gerry Bulatao. Like Ed, my first association with farmers was due to Dean Jeremias Montemayor, Federation of Free Farmers. I'm now a director of the Land Bank of the Philippines.
Okay. Well, sige. So to kick things off, this series of short videos on agriculture, governance, and development. Maybe you can start. What are the key themes that we should be looking at as we try to understand what's going on in agriculture? Yeah.
It's a very complex
Mhm.
question, Elmer. But I would say that I would say that at least two critical factors that have to be addressed in agriculture in the Philippines. One would be the issue of land tenure security, and in addition to that, the issue of increasing productivity and making sure that the small farmer gets the maximum benefit from his efforts on the farm.
Mhm.
So yung dalawa na yun. It's not enough to ensure that he becomes
A landowner.
a landowner.
Uh-huh.
You have to take into account and provide the services that will make him a successful producer. And as I said, maximize also the earnings from
Mhm.
the effort.
O sige, so let's start with land tenure. How is land tenure related to poverty? No? And then we had agrarian reform, no, since the time of Cory Aquino, and did it work? Did it not work? How is that correlated to the poverty situation now?
We've
Yeah.
had agrarian reform in different ways since the 30s.
Yeah.
But the first land reform law was passed in 1955, was it not? The big one was passed in 1963,
In
Agricultural Land Reform Code, amended due to farmers' pressure in 1971
Yeah.
with the passage of 6389. The next big jump was PD 27, Presidential Decree 27, passed in, issued in just after martial law, 1 month after.
October 72.
And then you had the CARB
Carl?
of 87.
So we've been at this for decades. No? Parang 2 generations na. So
Yes,
is
because
it
the principle,
Uh-huh.
the principle is there is no bath to end all baths. I learned that from Gerry Montemayor.
Mhm.
So you can reform now, but you may need another reform later.
Okay. So we shouldn't think that one set of policies will be the silver bullet and then, okay, it will make poverty.
But I think on the other side naman, perhaps one reason in the Philippines why you have to keep on taking a bath, the water is never enough.
Uh-huh.
Malipis yung tubig eh. Kaya, as Gerry said, we've had a number of important laws, but the funding has been a problem all throughout. So even if the key implementer, let's say the Department of Agrarian Reform, wants to finish it quickly,
Mhm.
And
diba,
also, even beyond
kulang yung pera, gano'n.
beyond funding, there are problems with
Political.
people,
Of course.
Yeah.
politicians, and even like implementors. Some problems related to putting in more efficient systems.
But for those who had received land, no, given na parang kapos yung pera to make it, to transfer land to all of those who should be getting land, for those who got the land, did it work for them? Did this transfer of land, or is that the right question?
Yeah, I think so, Elmer, because all other things being the same, the fact that you are now the owner of the land you till, it gives you additional incentive to maximize the investment in your farm. Because unlike shared tenancy or leasehold tenancy, all the fruits of production will accrue to the farmer now as tiller. Under shared tenancy, he had to share.
Makikihati pa.
Nakihati pa siya ng
Pinaghirapan mo.
owner eh. So ngayon, at sa kanya na lahat ng kwan, kita mula sa anihin, maghanap ng paraan. Abono pa yan, o pautang, or whatever. Of course, so that ownership alone, malaki na ano yun sa tingin ko. It's already a big trigger for him to maximize his effort on the farm.
One way of thinking about it is it's always a half filled or half
half
empty.
full or half empty.
You know, there have been gains, but there also have been failures.
Such as, just so that that's on the table.
When I think of gains and failures, but I immediately think that maybe it's important also to think of it related to commodities. By and large, agrarian reform for palay farmers has worked.
Okay.
That one,
So-
for me, almost without doubt. Those who now own the land, especially if it's irrigated land,
And to increase
earn
their
much
production,
more.
increase
And you can
their
see that
income.
in their housing, in so many ways.
For rice.
For
So
rice.
kung sunerte ka, irrigated, nabigyan ka, tapos rice yung
Yeah.
tanim mo.
May price support pa, and then
Yes.
Then you'll
The
see
one-
that the houses of these farmers are, they're able to send their
Yeah.
kids to school.
yeah.
The one where it hasn't worked very much, I think, is coconuts.
Yeah, well, first of all, it hasn't been redistributed.
Well, even the land that has been redistributed, you
doesn't.
don't see that much change among
Yeah,
the
because if you just
farmers.
produce copra and the prices are dictated by the traders and the mill in the global market, doesn't matter
Transferring
much
the land doesn't
whether,
matter
very
much.
often, in fact, shared tenants in coconuts have absentee landowners. They don't even give shares from the copra to the absentee landowners. So the net increase in income without a change in the commodity, without value adding, doesn't work as well.
Okay, so transferring land, tenure, helps significantly, but that also depends on the kind of commodity and
Yeah.
whether it's irrigated or
Yeah,
not.
like in the case of sugarcane, there are sugarcane former tenants
Yeah.
who've done very well with
Yeah,
agrarian
small,
reform in
small,
Batangas.
small landowners.
There are sugarcane workers, farm workers, whose lives have become more miserable with agrarian reform.
How could that happen? Na binigay na nga sa yung lupa, lalo ka pang nahirapan.
Hindi, kasi kung minsan sa sugarcane, nabigyan ng lupa, pero wala namang kapital for production. So, ang nangyayari, napipilitan sila mag-aryendo to lease the land to some big farmer.
And leasing makes things worse for them.
In general, yes. Because
They're worse
lease-
off
yes.
than before the time when they owned the land.
Yeah, you just get rental, that's it.
And you can be removed at the will of the manager of your farm. Sometimes there's an agreement. Okay, we will pay you for use of your land, and we will employ you.
Yeah.
And that might work for some time. And after a while,
Back to square one, atras pa. Okay.
and then the ARB will be unable to
Agrarian
get back
reform
his
beneficiaries.
land.
You leased it already, you can't take it back. So, okay, so you became a landowner, but things got reversed, your fate gets reversed, depending on which commodity you're working in.
So clearly, Elmer, it's not a simple matter of just transferring the land
Land.
ownership.
Only
You have
one
to follow up the distribution effort with the services needed by the farmer, so he can become a successful producer.
Okay, and that's what we will talk about in the next video segment.
Okay.
Sinabi